What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you again for tuning in. Welcome back to Ghost One More Mod. Today we are doing some aesthetic mods that are long overdue for the Proton Pack. We are getting rid of that horrific yellow sleeve. The yellow sleeve was a nice attempt by Haslab to do homage to Afterlife, but it is just wrong color. The fraying, like, they went overboard, and I don't know, maybe I've just been wearing it and like now it's like over frayed. I'll show you in a cutaway shot, but we are going to be replacing it with this much more accurate yellow sleeve. It is much brighter, more of a little bit neon color, so I dulled it down off camera. Yeah, I did my little bit of weathering. I'm not going to go into the weathering. I've done that in lots of other videos, but feel free to check out one of my other videos of how I do that. So I could just kind of dull this up a little bit to make that look a little bit more like Afterlife. I've shared this before, Ghostbusters Afterlife, the art and making of the movie. There was a really good shot on page 83 for reference of the Proton Pack and that yellow cable. We're not just going to stop there, because putting this on is as simple as, I mean, technically you don't really have to uninstall everything. You could just really disconnect that one hose and then pull back the yellow sleeve and then slip this up, and that's it. And I'm not going to be one of those guys who makes a 5-minute plus video of how to slide this up. That's really easy. I want to take it a step further. Let me go back to my book. I'm not sure how well that is picking up, but the yellow sleeve stops very short of actually going down to that plug, and there's exposed wiring there. And if we just replace the yellow sleeve, all we're doing is just recovering up that fake rubber hose. So I also got wire loom with wires already in it. So this is pretty cool. This is just ready to go. So this does already have the end on it to go into the front of the Proton Pack, and then this end will just get tucked into the Proton Pack. So we will have to open up the Proton Pack for this. I already opened it up in one of my previous videos, so if you want to know how to open up the Proton Pack, stay tuned. If you've already seen it before, you already know how to do it. I'm going to highlight this footage that I previously used. I'm only going to do this one more time in this video and use this video for future reference. So I'm going to do a green border. That is a part that if you want to watch, awesome. If you already know how to open up your Proton Pack, or if you already seen my previous video on how to do that, just skip ahead until you no longer see a green border. So let's get going. All right, it is officially time to get to the pack. Obviously, you want to have your Alice frame off if you have an Alice frame. So you would take that off, and then to make it easier, since we're going to be working on it on the back side, just take all the peripherals off so it can get as flat as possible. So I'm going to take this out and take the cyclotron lid off, the ion cap arm off, and of course the cake. Take the batteries out. And if you are wondering what's on my wrist, this is a magnetic wristband. So for when we get to the screws, I can just plop it like that and you won't lose any. Just a heads up, these two right here are screws for hoses in the front. So as you unscrew this, if you hear kind of something plop, or when you lift it up and you see something disconnected, that's what these two screws are for. This one appeared to be a short one. I'm going to mark that. This was a short one as well. Tell you what, having a magnetic screwdriver really made it a lot easier, but these two that were for the hoses, do not want to seem to come out, so I'm just going to flip this over. And here are the two things I was talking to you about. These two. So flip this over and shake out these screws here. Just had to push them out from the front. And now just carefully kind of go around and start pulling up. And if anything feels forced, just double check that you did get all 16 screws. And then also remember there's going to be a battery lead coming from the compartment going to the board that it will disconnect. And here's that battery lead I was talking to you about going to the motherboard, so just carefully pull that out. Alright, so at this point we already have the back of the proton pack off, but just for reference, in case someone does want to just do this sleeve, I put this back on just showing that this is the black hose I was talking about, and this just pops off. So here's that black fake rubber wire I was telling you about. We should be having the yellow sleeve stop short, that way you can see some of the loom and then also some of the multicolored wires within that loom. So that would be the more accurate way. But I just put this on here. Obviously this would be off if you took the back off, which we do have. So theoretically, like I said, all you would really do is just pull this down and there you go, it's off, and we would do the reverse, slide it back on. But the whole point is replacing this guy with real wires and a real wire loom. So we're gonna get that now. So there you go, that's the key thing about having it stop short. So I messed up. To be continued. I noticed in the reference photos, and this is so minor, but if I'm using this loom as a reference, one thing that I noticed, the spiral to the left, if you can see that, and per the book, it spirals up to the right. So I need to source another wire loom. I'll return to this video another time. All right, here we go. Shout out to Charlesworth Dynamics on the Etsy shop. I was able to source an 18-inch spiral wrap, spiraled in the correct direction. So if you can get a decent shot of that, of the spiral going in that direction versus this direction. And at first I was bummed. I was like, I just gotta toss this and I'm having to get wires. I'm like, what am I thinking? No, I'm just going to cut this out. I'm going to still be able to use these multicolored wires, this plug, which I'm happy about that, and then just, you know, normal black electrical tape. So I'm going to mod some mods. Let's go. So as I said earlier, I want to reuse these wires. So I am going to carefully snip away at this incorrectly spiraled loom. And I forget where I got this. I cannot remember. But even if I did, I'm not gonna name drop them and call them out. Just pay attention, or ask. I failed to do so, so learn from my mistake. Okay. And there we go. Be gone. Almost finished getting the wires through the loom, but I just want to take a quick pause here as a little nerd pro tip. A lot of people will take the loom and go all the way down to the nut. at the very end. Per Afterlife, if you when Phoebe first fires the proton pack, if you look, you will see that there's about 3/4 of an inch to about 1 inch of exposed wire. It does not go all the way down to the nut. So if you just want that little minute detail, don't go all the way down, just show a little bit of exposed wire on the cyclotron end. And we are almost at the point of getting this wrapped up. And if there's excess, I'll just snip it off. And actually, that is pretty, like, spacing wise, looks good. And that is just enough to do some electrical tape there. So I'm just gonna leave that as is. That worked out great. Love it. Yeah. All right. Let's get back to the proton pack. This is the black rubber wire that we're going to replace. That just goes back into the hole along with this fake ribbon cable, which that needs replacing as well, but that is another time. So we're going to flip this over. And as you can see, these are 3 screws, and this is held into with a clip, and this is where the ribbon cable attaches, as well as the fake black rubber wire. So we're going to undo these 3 screws now. All right, this little pops off. As you can see, the ribbon cable is only going through 2 of those poles, but we gotta pull that out. There we go. With the ribbon cable pulled back, you're gonna actually see 2 black rubber ones. The hose that we're removing and replacing is this middle one, so take it off the middle pole. If you try to shove it through the hole, it will not fit. So temporarily we need to push, we're gonna take the ribbon and pull that out just to give us more clearance, because the head of this fake rubber hose takes up a lot of space. So that now allows you to push this through, and there that is. That is no more. So we need space to put our new wires and wire loom through, like so. And now we can put the ribbon through. I'm not going to button anything down yet because I want to make sure that I have my route and position good. So whether I need to pull more slack or not enough. So that's not going anywhere for right now. So as I'm sure you know, it looks really small, but as you compress, it gets wider, so that you're just going to be kind of doing a little bit of finagling of pushing that through here. So it will appear to be pretty tight. It's just a finagling game at this point. Holding that open, at least for the initial start. And yeah, I can't imagine making a 5-minute video on how to put up a new yellow sleeve. I do like that I dulled this up a little bit. It's not like as bright, like it was pretty bright, and it's not like that in Afterlife either. So there's a middle ground. You have the super dull, faded pale yellow stock from Haslab, and then you get this, and it's also on the opposite spectrum. It's a little too bright. And then of course you do want to go up quite a bit. Let me see if I can get a measurement for you here, how much of the loom we should see. So it appears that I need to come up another couple inches and then stuff this sleeve back just a little bit further. It does, the yellow sleeve does obviously stop short well of that hole, but this bottom part here should be about that much more up. So I'm gonna adjust that now, which is so much easier than I thought. I'm nitpicking now. That is about it. New yellow sleeve, real wires, wire loom, spun in the right direction. This is the stock, just fake thing. Where did I throw that away? Oh yeah, and this is the original, and it's so thin. It's like super, like this one is heavier duty and it spins in the right direction. So now I think you can actually, if you didn't know what I was talking about or didn't make it out, you can see that this is spiraling in the wrong direction. Very small detail, but details matter. So now would be the time that we would find a way to secure the new wire loom, which honestly I would just say like stuff it down in there. Once you put this bracket on, it's really not going to go anywhere. And then especially this going over top of it. Let's see if I can get this in place. There we go. So yeah, once you get them through the poles, you're going to put this back on along with the 3 screws, but I'm not doing that. So there we go, guys. We have replaced the yellow sleeve with some slight weathering on that, inserted wires into a wire loom, which I didn't think we'd have to do, but I'm actually glad that I noticed that before that went on, and I was able to quickly get one out here and complete this video for you guys. If you're wondering why I didn't put on the back bracket, it's because I am not done. This looks great, but we can always do better, right? So there's going to be some other things happening in this area in the upcoming video, so stay tuned, but I am very happy with the way that turned out. It's a very popular mod, it's a very easy mod. It's easier also when you order the right thing the first time, but at the end of the day, that looks great. That is looking so much better, but I am not done yet. We are going to revisit the pack and we're gonna even make that area even better. We are done with this stuff. We made it through today's video. I appreciate it. Sometimes you have to mod mods, and that's absolutely okay. So lesson learned, if you're into this minute details, make sure you get the right spiral if you do the wire loom. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions about what I did for the install, leave a comment. And if you haven't done it already, please subscribe. Catch you guys next time. Out.